It's good morning, Oliver. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Hello, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. You're a podcast host. Your podcast show is called The Writer. And
hmm
a bonus today, Oliver, you're an author as well. So let's touch on the podcast show first, but tell us all about your podcast show, The Writer.
Okay, so The Writer is an audio drama podcast.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a TV show and an audiobook had a baby. And essentially, it's an episodic audiobook,
Yeah.
or audio diary, some of the reviewers have called it.
Sure.
And it takes place in like an alternate reality, where World War III happens in 2026. So something chaotic happens. There's a terrible, terrible event, and the world just goes into chaos, and it's World War III.
Yeah.
And so it follows a young man getting drafted into the military, and he sort of has to figure out how am I gonna survive this? Because they're just gonna throw me out onto the front lines, and then like I'm not a soldier. So it was very personal to me as well. So what if I got drafted? What if
Yeah.
World War III happened tomorrow and I just got thrown out there? But because it's an audio story, yeah, you have the narrator who tells you the story, so it's very intimate. You get a very personal feel. It's also first person as well. And there's music, there's narration, there's voice acting, um, and it all comes together. And so each episode tells a continuous story. So season one's coming out right now, and it's 13 episodes. And I really wanted you to be in, well, audiences. I really wanted audiences to be in the soldiers' shoes. So what if they got drafted as well? That was a big sort of emphasis I wanted to put
Yeah.
on. So yeah, that's the story overall. And as the soldier, the main character gets drafted and is put into the front lines, he begins writing for the government and mixing the truth about what's happening with fiction so they can control how the public learn about the war. So the narrative overall. Yeah.
Oliver, and I know there'll be people watching who'll ask this same question, so I'm going to ask it. This idea of a serialized audio drama, is that popular in podcasting, or are you doing something on the edge? Like, where did you think of this?
Well, so I've always been wanting to work in like film and TV, but it's such an intense, competitive market.
Yeah,
And I love writing. I'm an author as well, so I've written books. So I was like, I want to combine the two mediums in a way
yeah,
that's not going to cost me a billion
of
trillion
course.
dollars.
Clever.
So this was sort of the next best thing.
Yeah,
Um, it's it's not as popular as like the self-help podcast and the gossip podcast and the very conversational ones, but it is growing. I
yeah.
released mine the same day as another one that came out. So there are a couple of them.
Okay.
There's a really great one that's about a young woman's mental health as she's going through a breakup. That recently came out as well. So I've been sort
Yeah,
of staying up to date with them. So there is a few.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah.
I think they're really clever because as we know, podcasting is such a well, it's popular, but it's also a wonderful a tool to be able to learn and be creative and embrace. So yeah, look, I need to learn more about this serialized drama. I think it's wonderful. And people who are curious need to start listening to yours. Oliver, do
Mm.
you want to tell us a bit about you as an author? Because I know I'd be amiss not to kind of capture that as well today.
Yeah, so I've been writing for almost a decade now. Time flies. And so I released my first book. I self-published my first book when I was in high school.
Wow.
So I was 17.
Yeah.
And I wrote this book when I was 16, and my parents helped me sort of get
Yeah.
it through the door.
Yeah.
I saved up a bunch of money, and
Wow.
self-publishing is an expensive endeavor.
Yes.
You never have money. So yes, I just kept writing, and it's almost like an addiction at this
Yeah.
point. It's just something I enjoy doing. I've just got a story in my head, and it's a relief when you sort of get it out and you put it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and so I've written sort of different genres. I started with fantasy. I then did a drama. And then I recently, since the 2020s, have been working in the film industry.
Yeah.
I've been consulting on scripts and
Yes.
helping producers figure out whether they want to move forward with a production and with a script.
Yep.
So that's been super helpful, like reading other people's
Yeah.
screenplays. And now doing this, you have to write the audio drama, the
Of
book,
course.
but then you
Yeah.
also have to write the script version so the actors have something to
Yeah,
work off.
yeah.
So it's one of those things where you're sort of doing both.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
You are incredibly creative, Oliver, I must say. You're
thank you.
probably one of the most creative humans I've met. And do you love it? Do you love like being an author and a podcaster and the work you do in TV and film? Like, is that where you see yourself in years to come?
That's the dream,
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
cool.
But it's just fun. Like that's I think
Yeah,
overall, like you just do it and you look at the time and it's like, oh, 4 hours have gone by.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's I mean everything about it, like with the audio stuff,
yeah,
doing that because I just did narration, so doing all of that is just I just have fun with it. That's like
yeah.
that's and so hopefully one day if things keep progressing and we can
Yes.
grow an audience, it'd be amazing to make it like a full-time
Yeah,
gig.
yeah. Persistence, Oliver.
Yeah.
We all know what that's about. And I love to share that message whenever I talk to anyone, whether it's an author or a podcast host, because there's a level of just persistence and honing your craft, isn't it? And just moving forward. Well done. I'm so glad that we were connected by Frank, who interestingly enough connected us, even though he's in the US, we're here in Australia. It's good to be able to chat and share about your podcast series. Oliver, all the best, and come back if when more books come out or you want to chat
Mhm.
again about your podcast show. I'd love to support it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And all the
Yes.
best with the other interviews. I'm sure you got.
Yeah, it's fun. See ya.
Bye.